Besides, I'm reading.
Reading? You call that 10-cent hogwash reading?
Before Josh Brolin would hit the big screen as Cable in Deadpool 2 and as Thanos in Avengers Infinity War. Before Josh Brolin starred in hit films such as American Gangster, Cesario, and No Country for Old Men, as well as receiving a Best Supporting Actor Oscar nod for his role in the film Milk.
Bravo! Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
How did it feel when you
I had
heard
to
your
wear
name?
my hat because my hair was sticking straight up. So.
Before Josh Brolin arm wrestled with Stephen Colbert on The Late Show.
Go.
You're not.
For Josh Brolin, the apple certainly didn't fall far from the tree, with his father being a bit of Hollywood royalty. And Josh, well, he got started as an actor in his first role at the age of 16. Back when this guy was a kid, I swear he was a doppelganger for Justin Bieber. Seriously, take a look.
Brand. Andy.
Shame, shame. Come on, Brand. Slip her the tongue.
Also a little bit of a lady killer, just like Justin. Now, despite growing up on a ranch 3 hours away from Hollywood, well, Josh would follow in his father's footsteps and he worked steadily with roles his entire life, but they just kept on getting bigger and better. Now, it's turning out to be quite the year for Josh Brolin. In 2017, Hollywood had been searching left, right, and center for the right actor to play Cable in the sequel to Deadpool, with prominent stars such as Michael Shannon as well as Stranger Things' David Harbour being among the primary contenders. As it turned out, the studio opted for Josh Brolin instead, meaning that this would not only be his second role in a Marvel film, but his second role in a Marvel film within the span of just 1 month. The guy's the talk of the town. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden, documenting the life and career of Josh Brolin prior to fame, here for you on Before They're Famous. Now, this video, it's actually a double header. I have a brand new channel titled Before They Are Fiction, and on there we're doing the exact same thing that we do here, but on fictional characters. I'm talking from television, film, comic books, you name it. Now, we've dropped videos on Thanos and Deadpool in the past, but today we're dropping a video on Cable, and it's only on that channel. Take a look. A genetic clone of Jean Grey was made by Mr. Sinister named Madeline Pryor, who got it on with Cyclops, resulting in Cable's birth, and they named him Nathan Christopher Summers. Sinister's nemesis Apocalypse, well, he kidnapped her newborn baby. You do remember who Apocalypse is, right? He's this guy. And it was like a B+ movie.
Strike! Gold!
There will be a link to that video at the end of this one, and while you're watching it, be sure to subscribe to Before They Are Fiction. Tons of new content coming to that channel as well. Thank you so much. Alright, here we go. Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom! Josh Brolin was born Josh James Brolin on February 12, 1968 in sunny Santa Monica, California. His mother, Jane Cameron, a wildlife activist from Texas, and his father is actor James Brolin. Now, as your parents probably know Brolin Sr. from such films as The Amityville Horror and High Risk, you may know him as the grandfather on Life in Pieces.
Suddenly, boom, I am not fit to fly an aircraft according to my stupid insurance company. Well, I'll be damned if I'm going to take orders from a talking lizard.
Now, Brolin has stated that his parents were not the traditional type, recalling memories of them drinking in church. Also, his mother, she pulled a gun on a random person once upon a time. They also didn't live in the Hollywood Hills. Instead, they lived on a ranch in Templeton, California, which is a 3-hour drive north of Hollywood.
I grew up on a ranch. I grew up with 65 horses, feeding 65. I didn't like it, but I grew up working hard.
Jane and James divorced when Josh was 16, and his father remarried to actress Jan Smithers a couple years later. Now, while many Californians simply surf as a hobby, Brolin has stated that in his youth he was actually a part of a surfer gang known as the Cedo Rats. Now, we reassured everyone that they were not an official gang, but they still got into some shady activity, breaking into cars to steal money so they could shoot up heroin. Yeah, Brolin's tried the H. In an interview with The Guardian, he stated, "I used to try to think you should deconstruct everything, experience everything, you get yourself out there, but I don't believe that anymore. Having adventure is very well, but an imagination can make up for all that. That's the more intelligent way to be, and it keeps you out of harm's way." For the record, kids, stay the hell out of heroin's way. I'm happy to hear that Brolin was able to kick the habit quickly. Some, they're not so lucky, and they end up looking like Deadpool. For real.
Do you like what you see? You look like an avocado. Had sex with an older, more disgusting avocado.
Yeah. Now, despite his father's career, Josh was not initially interested in becoming an actor, but he decided to take a few classes, and that's where he found his flair for performance. He began acting in a couple TV films as well as some extra work on various shows, and then he snagged his first major role as Brand Walsh in the 1985 Richard Donner classic, The Goonies.
I owe you one.
Along with TV appearances on Highway to Heaven, Private Eye, and 21 Jump Street, well, Josh's next film gig was Thrashin'. Yeah, a skater drama. Yeah, the 80s were badass, man. We're talking the trials and tribulations of arriving at a 7-Eleven to find out your Slurpee machine is empty. Oh god. Now, he's since admitted that he could barely watch the film's premiere due to his horrendous acting. Back then, he's gotten much better. Like, the best. He won an Oscar. Following the release of Thrashin', well, Josh headed to New York City in order to pursue theater. But all of a sudden, the world of TV and film, they'd suck him right back in. His next starring role was as Wild Bill Hickok on the short-lived ABC Western series, The Young Riders. Now, Josh suffered severe heartache at a young age when his mother Jane passed away in a tragic car accident. What makes things even worse? Well, it happened on his 27th birthday. He's expressed since her death that it has had a lasting impact on his life. He even flirted with the idea of quitting acting after a turn of good luck trading stocks. While he did keep at it, the 90s were a relatively quiet decade for Josh's career, with roles in lackluster films including Mimic, Night Watch, and The Mod Squad. The 2000s, however, Brolin saw an upswing in his career, while on the set of the 2006 Robert Rodriguez cult flick Planet Terror, well, Brolin managed to book himself an audition for a new film by the Coen brothers titled No Country for Old Men, which is like such a dope movie. Now, since the Coen brothers were initially reluctant to let Josh read, he enlisted both Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino to film his audition tape, and they used a $950,000 digital camera. Yeah, those guys could direct your grandma knitting and still make it look like a blockbuster. Anyway, Josh Brolin sent in his audition tape, and sure enough, he landed the role. But a freak motorcycle accident almost ruined his chance to work with the legendary film duo. 2 weeks before filming, his motorcycle collided with a car, sending him flying. Recalling the incident, he stated, "I'm flying over the car and I'm really getting some air, and I remember thinking, fucking shit, I really wanted to work with the Coens." Josh got lucky, however, only breaking his shoulder, and he made it out to set on time in New Mexico. That's when he tapped into his mother's Texas roots, when he morphed into the character of Llewellyn Moss, a Vietnam vet being tailed by a sociopathic hitman in 1980s Texas. Again, such an incredible film. No Country for Old Men premiered at the Cannes Film Festival in 2007 and received near universal acclaim for its directing, its writing, and its performances. It went on to snatch the Academy Award for Best Picture and is considered by many critics to be among the finest films of the decade. I really should just ask this film on a date. I'm that obsessed. Now, as for his personal life, Brolin has been married 3 times. Once to actress Alice Adair, with whom he has 2 children, as well as actress Diane Lane, who he divorced in 2013. He's now married to model Catherine Boyd, with whom he tied the knot in 2016. Now, Brolin continues to have an interesting life outside of show business. In 2015, while on vacation in Hawaii, well, a bystander captured the actor saving a distressed surfer. Which goes to show you that being in a gang can help you later in life. Kinda. I guess. Not a lot of people are surfing. Anyway.
Get him in, Josh. Get him in. Josh Brolin towing tourists back to the beach in Hawaii.
No Country for Old Men would not be the last of Brolin's brushes with Oscar glory. After a supporting role alongside Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe in the crime thriller American Gangster, well, Brolin was cast in the 2008 Harvey Milk biopic titled Milk. While Sean Penn's incredible performance chewed up most of the buzz, it was Josh Brolin's portrayal of the politician turned assassin Dan White which garnered particular praise. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor at the 81st Academy Awards, but he lost out to Heath Ledger for his role. Do I even need to say it?
Hi.
That year he had another standout role as President George W. Bush in the Oliver Stone directed W, While the film was a financial flop and it received mixed reviews, Brolin surely did not shy away from depicting one of the country's most polarizing leaders.
Mr. President, what place do you think you have in history?
In history? History will all be dead.
The next decade featured another successful Coen Brothers entry with the Oscar-nominated True Grit. He also went on to portray a younger version of Tommy Lee Jones's Agent K in Men in Black 3, as well as an acclaimed appearance in Paul Thomas Anderson's psychedelic cult staple Inherent Vice. Now, I don't think you should watch this video unless you got a little acid in your system, but I've already told you not to take the H, so stay away from the A as well.
Kinichiro, dozo, moto panekeku. Moto panekeku. Moto panekeku. Hai. Hai. Hai.
2015 Cesario followed soon after, and it seemed as if Josh Brolin had certainly carved out a legacy, but something unprecedented was on the horizon. After 2 post-credit cameos in Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers Age of Ultron, well, Josh Brolin took on the role of Thanos. And this was all gearing up for the Avengers climactic showdown between the legendary Marvel badass in 2018's Avengers Infinity War. Now, Marvel junkies eagerly wiped the sweat from their forehead in anticipation for this flick, which premiered on April 27th. And the Infinity War, it didn't disappoint. Now, the verdict has been that Brolin is a kick-ass Thanos, and everyone's, well, singing his praises. Although I kind of agree with Star-Lord with what he had to say about his chin. You know, looking like a ball sack. Now, just as this high is wearing off, we get to see Brolin in yet another Marvel picture, the long-awaited sequel to Deadpool. In the film, Brolin will portray Nathan Summer, aka Cable. And as promised, there is a Before They Are Fiction video made on Cable just for you. As for the rest of the story, well, we'll have to wait and see, because this is Before They Are Famous. My name's Michael McCrudden, and there are 2 more videos below. These are on Before They Are Fiction, that's a different channel. While over there, be sure to subscribe, we really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in another video.